You know, when you first open up a digital map of Osaka.
Well, it is completely overwhelming.
Right, especially around those major downtown areas. It basically looks like you're staring into the glowing circuitry of a supercomputer.
Yeah.
You've got this just massive overlapping grid of neon, transit lines everywhere, and, thousands of these tiny restaurant icons.
Right. The density is insane.
It is. It's chaotic. It's beautiful, but I mean, let's be real. It's completely paralyzing if you don't actually know where the power flows.
It is the absolute definition of information overload. Like you drop your pin on the map and suddenly you are just drowning in choices.
Yeah.
We tend to think of travel planning as this very rigid, structured spreadsheet.
Sure.
But the reality on the ground in a dense Japanese city is incredibly fluid. And frankly, it's a bit unforgiving if you make a wrong turn.
Which is exactly why today we are doing away with the generic 30,000-foot overviews. Today we are diving into a massive stack of localized travel data, neighborhood crime statistics, and hyperlocal restaurant databases like Sabre Japan.
Yes.
Our mission for this deep dive, we are building a hyper-focused survival guide. An audio walking tour, really, tailored for one specific traveler.
So picture this.
Yeah, you've just dropped your bags in your room at hotel code Shinsabashi.
You're jet lagged.
You are incredibly jet lagged, you're hungry, and you need to know exactly what is waiting for you the second you step outside your front door.
Right, because we're going to map out the immediate blocks around your hotel. We'll find the best food across every budget tier, and we'll decode the specific local dining etiquette.
Which is huge, because how you order and pay here is very different from the West.
Completely different. And we're also going to spotlight the exact scams and tourist traps you need to dodge.
The traps are real.
They are. The core theme of your trip is really going to be balancing the absolute chaos of Osaka with the order of preparation.
The chaos of Osaka versus the order of preparation. I love that. So let's start with your base camp, right? Hotel code Shinsaibashi.
Okay.
The official address is 11630 Higashin Saibashi in the Chuaku ward.
Right.
Why is this specific pin on the map so strategically important?
Well, it really comes down to microgeography. So Higashin Saibashi translates to East Shinsaibashi.
Okay.
And being nestled right here is crucial because of the barrier it creates.
Yeah.
You're in the vibrant heart of the city's shopping and entertainment zones, right?
Yeah, you're right in the mix.
You are, but you're just slightly removed from the absolute peak sensory overload of the Dotonbori Canal area.
Right, so you get the proximity without, having giant flashing neon crabs shining directly into your hotel window at 2 in the morning.
Exactly, which means you can actually sleep.
Always a plus when traveling.
Yeah, but more importantly, you're plugged directly into the city's main transit artery.
Yeah.
The data shows you're only a 3-minute walk from Shinsaibashi Station on the Osaka Municipal Subway Midosuji line.
Ah, the Midosuji line.
Yes. The importance of the Midosuji line really cannot be overstated. It is the aorta of Osaka.
Wow.
Historically, it was the very first subway line built in the city back in the 1930s.
Wait, really? The 1930s?
Yeah, which is why when you walk down into those stations, you'll notice these massive, grand vaulted ceilings that you just don't see in the newer, more utilitarian stations.
Oh, that makes so much sense. I always wondered why those stations felt so cavernous.
Right. And it runs perfectly north to south. So if you need the bullet train, it takes you straight up to Shinosaka.
It's convenient.
If you want the massive business and shopping complexes, you head to Umeda.
Yeah.
If you want the old school retro vibe of Shinsaikai, you head south. I mean, it is an effortless launch pad.
Okay, so the location is a massive tactical advantage. But let's look inside the hotel itself because, when you're traveling across multiple time zones, the architectural philosophy and the micro details of a Japanese business hotel are fascinating.
They really are.
Japanese business hotels, they aren't about sprawling square footage. They are these masterworks of ergonomic efficiency.
Yes.
Our sources highlight some very specific, comforting amenities at Hotel Code. They feature Simmons mattresses, and they really highlight the individual air conditioning in each room.
And I have to say that individual climate control is a much bigger deal than most Western travelers realize.
How so?
Well, in many older or budget accommodations in Japan, the climate control is building-wide.
Oh, no.
Yeah. The front desk decides when it is winter, and switches the whole building to heat.
So if you run hot and want AC in November,
You are entirely out of luck. You're opening a window and hoping for a breeze, so having your own thermostat is a huge win for comfort.
that's a lifesaver. They also have Toto washlets, the high-tech electric toilet seats.
Standard, brilliant Japanese hospitality.
No, but the thing that really caught my eye is the nano air purifying system in the rooms.
Oh, yes, the Nano system. It's a proprietary Panasonic technology.
Okay, what does it actually do?
So Osaka is a massive, incredibly dense urban center, right? Between the concrete, the crowds, the restaurant is aghast. The air can get heavy.
Yeah, that city grit.
Exactly. Nanotechnology essentially uses water particles to neutralize odors and allergens.
Huh.
Having a dedicated unit running silently in your room, it does wonders for clearing out the city dust and making that compact space feel incredibly fresh.
That sounds amazing after a 14-hour flight. Now, regarding the amenities, the sources note that Hotel Code offers a free breakfast.
Right.
Free is a very powerful word for a traveler.
It is.
But I'm looking at this through the lens of our core theme. We're in Osaka.
Yeah.
It is historically known as the Tenka no Daidokoro, right? The nation's kitchen.
Yes.
Is filling your stomach with a free, generic hotel buffet genuinely the smartest move?
Well, it's a fundamental conflict between logistics and culinary exploration.
Right.
If you have an 8:00 a.m. bullet train to Kyoto, the free breakfast is a logistical lifesaver. You grab a pastry, drink the coffee, and go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
However, I want to point out a limitation in our source documents here.
Okay, what's that?
While they confirm the transit proximity and the amenities, they do not explicitly list the exact check-in and check-out hours for Hotel Code, nor do they specify the breakfast hours.
Oh, good to know.
So that is a tiny logistical detail you must verify on your booking confirmation. But to your point, if you have the time, stepping outside into Higachi Shinsaibashi for breakfast is a far richer experience.
Let's assume you have the time.
Okay.
You've slept well, the nano purifier did its job, and you step outside into a crisp Osaka morning.
It's beautiful.
Before the crowds arrive, before the neon is turned on, the city is actually remarkably quiet. Where do you go for caffeine?
If you want to ease into the day, there is a spot right in your neighborhood called Cafe Morning Box.
Okay.
It opens at 8 a.m. Their entire ethos is centered around being kind to humans and the earth.
That is a very specific vibe.
It really is. They prioritize local Kansai region vegetables, and they serve specialty coffee sourced from a local roastery. It is a very modern, relaxed, third-wave coffee approach.
But let's say you want to experience the older, more nostalgic side of Japanese morning culture.
Then you walk west.
Right, into Nishi Shinsaibashi, and you find Kameda Coffee 10, which opens early at 7 a.m.
Oh, Kameda. Kameda is a brilliant example of the Japanese kisaten culture.
Kisesat.
Yeah, these are traditional coffee shops that really boomed in the Showa era, so mid-20th century. They have this dark wood, velvet seat, slightly retro aesthetic.
And Komeda has a signature item called the Shiro Nawaru.
Yes.
It's this beautifully warm, flaky Danish pastry, and they pipe a literal mountain of cold soft-serve ice cream right on top of it.
It is completely indulgent.
You pour syrup over it, the hot pastry melts the cold ice cream. I mean, it is entirely decadent, but it's a cultural staple.
It really is. But if we pivot from the cafes to traditional Japanese savory breakfast, we absolutely have to talk about the onigiri.
The rice ball.
Yes. Just a 3-minute walk from your station in the Minami-Semba area is a shop called Onigiri Gorichan. They open at 8:20 a.m.
The onigiri is the ultimate Japanese comfort food. But Gorichan isn't just selling, like, prepackaged convenience store triangles, right?
No, not at all. These are hand-formed, incredibly fresh, and the variety is immense. You can get the classic umishirasu.
Which is exactly.
It's pickled plum with tiny baby whitebait fish. That's about 450 yen. Or you can get classic tuna mayo.
Or if you want to completely derail your diet before 9:00 a.m., they have a fried chicken with mayonnaise and cheese onigiri for around 400 yen.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But here is the critical part about Gorichan, and it's a massive lesson for anyone traveling in Japan. Our sources explicitly state they do not take credit cards.
Right. And this is the reality of the Japanese payment ecosystem. They accept cash, and they accept a domestic QR code payment system called PayPay.
Can a tourist use PayPay?
For a foreign tourist, setting up PayPay is incredibly difficult because it requires a Japanese phone number and bank account. So for you, it's cash only.
It constantly surprises tourists that a hyper-modern country like Japan still relies so heavily on physical yen. Why is that? I mean, they have robots serving food, but you need coins to pay.
It really comes down to profit margins.
Yeah.
The margins for small independent shops or budget-focused eateries are razor thin.
Right.
Credit card processors take a percentage of every sale. For a shop selling a 400 yen rice ball, that fee is brutal. So physical cash remains the undisputed king of the local food scene. You must always have yen notes and a coin purse handy when you leave the major department stores.
Cash is king. Keep the coin purse loaded.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what if you decided to sleep in? You skip the 8 a.m. rice balls, it's late morning, and you want something more substantial that bridges breakfast and lunch.
In that case, you head slightly south toward the Dotonbori area to Dotonbori Imai main store.
Dotonbori Mai.
Yeah, they open at 11:30 a.m., and this place is an absolute institution for udon.
And their prices are incredibly accessible. I'm seeing the classic Kitsuno udon, which is the one topped with those slightly sweet, deep-fried tofu pockets for just 756 yen.
Such a good deal.
Or they have the nabiyaki udon for 1,620 yen, which comes out in a hot earthen pot, literally bubbling at your table.
Oh, it's so good.
But let's explain why having udon in Osaka is different from having it in Tokyo, because there's a real regional rivalry there, right?
Oh, completely. It entirely revolves around the dashi, which is the foundational soup stock. Kansai region dashi, which Osaka is famous for, is lighter in color but incredibly deep in umami flavor.
Right.
The historical reason for this is fascinating. The water in the Kansai region is softer than the water in Tokyo.
Wait, soft water changes the soup that much?
It does. Soft water is highly effective at extracting the delicate flavor of kombu, or kelp.
Yeah.
During the Edo period, Osaka was the primary trading port for kombu coming down from Hokkaido.
Oh, wow.
So Osaka cuisine evolved around this delicate golden kombu dashi. Tokyo, with its harder water, relied more on strong soy sauce and katsuobushi bonito flakes.
That is so interesting.
Yeah. Dotonbori Imai is the perfect place to taste that specific historical Kansai profile.
So we've navigated the morning. You're fueled up. But suddenly it's midday, the crowds are swelling, and you make lunch. The danger here is that a hungry tourist makes bad financial decisions.
They absolutely do. And this is where we need to analyze the economic theory of the tourist premium.
The tourist premium.
Yes. Our sources provide clear examples of this. Imagine you are visiting the Osaka Castle or Universal Studios.
Okay.
You walk out the main gate, and there is a restaurant immediately facing the exit. They have bright, prominent English menus displaying a simplified lunch set. You sit down, and suddenly you are paying 2,500 yen for a bowl of noodles and rice that would cost 800 yen anywhere else.
It is a massive markup based entirely on geography. Like, the restaurant isn't selling you better food, they're selling you the convenience of not having to walk.
Exactly. In high-traffic tourist zones, geography dictates price far more than culinary quality. The golden rule to defeat the tourist premium is incredibly simple. Walk 5 minutes away.
Just 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes. If you walk just 5 minutes down a side street or into one of Osaka's covered shopping arcades, the Shotengai, you will find restaurants catering to local office workers where the prices drop by 60%.
So, applying that 5-minute rule near Hotel Code Shinsaibashi, what are the reliable lunch spots? The sources suggest a place called Saizeria in Kita Shinsaibashi.
Yes, it's just a 3-minute walk from the station.
Now, I have to be completely honest here. When I see Saizeria on a list of recommendations for a tourist in Japan, I raise an eyebrow.
I get that.
You know, you want me to fly 14 hours, cross the Pacific Ocean, land in the culinary capital of Asia, and eat at a discount Japanese-Italian family restaurant chain.
It sounds completely counterintuitive, I know, but hear me out. Travel fatigue is real.
That's true.
Decision fatigue is real. Sometimes you just don't want to decipher a handwritten Japanese menu or sit shoulder to shoulder with strangers on a tiny stool. Saizeria offers massive, comfortable booths. The vibe is incredibly welcoming, whether you are dining solo or wrangling an exhausted family of 4.
And the prices are frankly absurd.
They are. Your average meal there is going to be well under 99 yen. But more than just cheap food, Saizeria represents a very specific culinary subculture in Japan called Bikogurum, or B-grade gourmet.
B-grade gourmet.
Yeah, it is this fascinating adaptation of Western food like their famous doria, which is essentially a creamy rice gratin tailored specifically to the Japanese palate. It is consistent, it is comfortable, and it is a logistical sanctuary when you just need an easy win.
Okay, I can respect the need for a low-stress sanctuary, but if you want something distinctly Japanese but equally reliable, there is Koko Ichibanya, universally known as Koko Ichi.
Oh, Koko Ichii is a masterclass in the Japanese curry house.
Yeah.
Japanese curry is fundamentally different from Indian or Thai curries. It doesn't rely on coconut milk or heavy, sharp spices. It is thickened with a roux, making it rich, slightly sweet, and deeply comforting.
And ordering at Koko Isiajai is highly interactive. You don't just order curry, you build it. You select your base sauce pork, beef, or vegetarian. You specify your exact rice portion down to the gram. You choose your spice level on a numbered scale. And then you add toppings.
It's totally customizable.
Exactly. You can get a massive crispy pork cutlet curry for just over 1,000 yen, or a lighter spinach and eggplant curry for under 900.
But if you want to turn lunch into a cultural event rather than a sit-down meal, you leave the hotel and walk west into Amerikamura.
Often just called Amemura.
Right.
Amemura is fascinating. It translates to American Village, and it became the epicenter of Osaka's youth culture back in the 1970s.
Yeah, when young entrepreneurs started importing vintage American jeans and surfboards.
Today, it is just this maze of vintage clothing stores, record shops, and incredible street fashion. And right in the heart of it is Osaka, America, Murakoga Ryu Honten.
Kuguru is a legendary spot for takoyaki.
Takoyaki is the quintessential Osaka street food. They're these spherical, piping hot batter cakes filled with chunks of octopus.
So good.
You walk up to the Koguryu counter, you spend less than 999 yen, and they hand you a little paper boat of takoyaki. They're brushed with a dark sweet sauce, drizzled with Kewpie mayonnaise, and topped with dried bonito flakes that literally curl and dance from the heat of the batter.
The sensory experience is incredible. And the ritual is just as important as the food.
Right.
You take your paper boat, you walk across the street to Mitsu Park, which everyone locally calls Triangle Park because of its shape, and you sit on the concrete steps. You eat your takoyaki, and you just people watch.
It's such a vibe.
It is a brilliant, cheap, authentic way to absorb the energy of the city. And again, take note, Koguryu takes PayPay, but no credit cards. The street food ecosystem runs purely on physical currency.
Good to remember. All right, so the sun is going down, the neon signs are flickering to life, and we need to talk about dinner.
Dinner in Osaka.
Travelers have wildly different budgets depending on the day. Maybe saved your yen at Kokoi CHI for lunch so you can splurge tonight. So we are going to break down your dinner options by budget tiers, all within the immediate orbit of hotel code.
Perfect.
Let's start with the budget tier under 2,000 yen for a full meal and a drink.
The undisputed champion of the budget tier in Japan is Torikizoku.
Torikizoku.
It is a wildly popular yakitori chain. Yakitori being skewered grilled chicken.
Torikizoku is legendary among both locals and expats. It's loud, it's fast-paced, and their business model is built on absolute volume and efficiency.
Yep.
Every single item on the menu, every skewer, every side dish, every beer is a flat, incredibly low price.
And our sources call out some specific recommendations there.
Yeah.
They highlight the Hokkaido octopus mixed with wasabi.
Oh, that sounds good.
It gives you a sharp, fresh kick to cut through the heavy grilled meats. They also recommend the kara-age-style deep-fried gristle.
Now, I know chicken gristle sounds unappealing to a Western palate accustomed to, boneless, skinless chicken breasts, but the Japanese embrace texture just as much as flavor. The crunchy, salty, fatty bite of deep-fried gristle is the absolute perfect pairing for an ice-cold highball.
Exactly. You order a few plates of skewers, the camembert croquette with cheddar cheese, a Suntory Kaku highball, and you walk out fully satisfied for less than the price of a mid-tier lunch back home.
Amazing. Let's move up to the moderate tier, where you are looking to spend roughly 3,000 to 8,000 yen. This is where you absolutely must dive into okonomiyaki.
Okonomiyaki literally translates to what you like, grilled.
Right.
It is a savory cabbage pancake bound with a yam-infused batter and loaded with pork belly, seafood, or whatever you prefer.
And the history behind it is really interesting.
It is. Historically, it surged in popularity in Osaka after World War II when rice was scarce and American relief supplies flooded the market with wheat flour. People mixed the flour with whatever cheap vegetables they had, and a culinary icon was born.
And we have a heavyweight showdown between two legendary okonomiyaki spots near your hotel, Mizuno and Ajinoya.
Right. Both offer phenomenal, authentic okonomiyaki, but the logistics of dining at them differ wildly.
How so?
Well, Mizuno is located right in the chaotic heart of Dotonbori. They are highly accessible, and crucially for tourists, they accept all major credit cards.
Nice. And Ajinoya.
Ajinoya, which is over the Namba area, requires a bit more strategy. They are so overwhelmingly popular that they have implemented a fast-pass reservation system.
Oh, like a theme park.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you have to be vigilant about their hours. They're strictly closed on Mondays.
Good to know. If you manage to get a seat at either, the experience is visceral. They pour the batter onto a massive iron teppan grill right in front of you. You hear the sizzle of the pork belly fat rendering down.
Yeah?
They flip it, slather it in a thick, sweet Worcestershire-style sauce, draw lines of mayonnaise across it, and dust it with green laver and bonito flakes. It's heavy, it's rich, and it's unforgettable.
If you want to stay in that moderate tier but want something a bit more refined and less smoky, there is Izakaya Odashi right in Higashitsaibashi.
Okay, an izakaya is a traditional Japanese pub. Odashi, as the name suggests, specializes in that beautiful, clear dashi broth we discussed earlier.
Right.
They are incredibly proud of their oden. Oden is the ultimate winter comfort food. Large pieces of daikon radish, hard-boiled eggs, and fish cakes slowly simmering for hours in a vat of light dashi. The radish absorbs all that savory flavor until it is incredibly tender.
And from a practical standpoint, Odashi is open until 1:00 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays.
Perfect for a late-night bite.
Exactly, making it the perfect late-night sanctuary when you want to avoid the massive crowds. But let's say it's your last night in Osaka.
Time to go all out.
You want to ascend to the splurge tier? We're talking 10,000 yen and above.
Let's hear it.
Just a 5-minute walk from your hotel is Shinsaibashi Kagura.
Great.
This is a creative Japanese restaurant that operates on a philosophy called Ishokudojin.
Which means food is medicine, right?
Precisely. It is the idea that a balanced seasonal diet is the foundation of health. Kagura offers completely private rooms with actual walls and doors, not just paper screens or curtains.
Oh, that's rare.
It is. They serve multi-course kaiseki-style meals. Their signature Kagura course ranges from 9,000 to 11,500 yen. You are served seasonal fresh fish, glass carpaccio topped with caviar, and high-grade beef dishes. It is thoughtful, quiet luxury.
If you want to direct your splurge entirely toward the legendary Japanese beef, you walk slightly south into the Hozenji Yokocho alleyway.
Yes.
This narrow, stone-paved alley lit by paper lanterns. It feels like stepping back in time. There, you will find Matsusaka-kyu Yakiniku M. They specialize exclusively in Matsusaka beef.
And Matsusaka beef is considered one of Japan's top 3 elite Wagyu brands, alongside Kobe and Omi.
To understand why it's so expensive, you really have to understand the grading. When they say A5 Wagyu, the A refers to the yield of the cow, but the 5 is the beef marbling standard, or BMS.
Right.
Matsusaka beef has a BMS so high that the meat is literally more white than red. The fat has a lower melting point than human body temperature.
Really lower than body temp.
Yeah, so when you put a piece on your tabletop grill, it takes seconds to cook, and it quite literally melts when it hits your tongue.
That is wild.
It is a 15,000 yen experience, but it alters your perception of what beef can be.
Wow. And if you prefer the ocean to the pasture, the sources also highlight Sushi Hasegawa's Shinsaibashi main branch. It is another 15,000 plus yen experience, deeply authentic, high-end sushi, just 5 minutes from the station.
Okay, the culinary map is set. But here's where the anxiety usually spikes for foreign travelers.
Oh, language anxiety.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dropping 15,000 yen on a high-end sushi course is incredibly stressful if you were sitting at the counter sweating because you can't read a single character on the menu and you have no idea what you just ordered.
The psychology of the language barrier is a major factor in travel stress. It is important to set realistic expectations. Osaka is a massive global tourist hub, but English fluency is not ubiquitous.
Especially in smaller, independent kitchens. The chefs are focused on their craft, not on hospitality English.
Fortunately, we have concrete data to mitigate that stress. Based on the Savor Japan restaurant database provided in our sources, there are several confirmed spots in your hotel code that absolutely have English menus and English-speaking staff.
That is a huge relief.
Yes, having that safety net is vital. For tabletop barbecue, both Yakiniku Rikimaru branches in the area are confirmed to have English support. If you want a private room meat experience, Goshitsu Niku Kapo Katana in Namba is confirmed.
Okay, Rikimaru and Katana.
Yep. For a hot pot experience, Budishabu Seramushi in Amerikamura has English menus. And if you want classic Osaka street food in a comfortable izakaya setting, the Kuryoru Donbori branch has English menus and staff.
Knowing those names gives you a reliable fallback plan. But even without an English menu, you need to understand the physical mechanics of ordering in Japan because the infrastructure is quite unique.
2 systems currently dominate the affordable and mid-tier dining scene. The first and most traditional for ramen or fast food is the ticket machine.
Right, the machine's outside the door.
Exactly. You will see a large machine outside the entrance. You insert your cash, push a physical button for your meal, take a small paper ticket, and hand it to the chef inside.
Do they have English?
In recent years, many of these machines have been upgraded to touch screens with an English language toggle button at the top corner, so it's getting easier.
What's the second system?
The second system is the QR code menu, which absolutely exploded in popularity post-2020. You sit down, the server hands you a slip of paper with a QR code, you scan it, and you order through a browser on your phone.
The brilliant hidden benefit of the QR code system for tourists is that modern smartphone browsers can instantly translate the entire web page.
Yes.
So even if the restaurant doesn't offer an official English menu, your phone translates the ordering system in real time. It has dramatically lowered the barrier to entry for local dining.
Now, there's one more cultural quirk of Japanese dining that we absolutely must explain. Because if you don't understand the history of it, it feels like a targeted scam. And that is the otoshi.
The otoshi is critical to understand. When you sit down at an izakaya, a Japanese pub, the server will almost immediately bring you a small, single-bite appetizer. It might be some simmered vegetables or a piece of fish. You did not order this.
Right.
But when your final bill arrives, you will see a charge of usually 300 to 500 yen per person for this dish.
And instantly, the tourist brain screams, I'm being ripped off. They charged me for something I didn't ask for.
But you aren't. This is a deeply ingrained cultural norm that dates back to the Edo period. Historically, preparing food over a wood fire took time. Serving a small dish immediately was the host's way of saying, we have received your order and you have food while you wait.
It makes perfect sense contextually.
Today, it functions effectively as a seating charge or a cover charge. It replaces the concept of tipping, which you should never ever do in Japan. The otoshi is not a scam, it is just how the system operates.
That distinction is vital because feeling like you've been tricked ruins a good meal. And speaking of being tricked, we need to transition into the nightlife.
Because while the otoshi is an honest cultural norm, there are actual malicious scams operating in the shadows of the neon lights.
Yes.
Now, people hear scams in Japan and they pause. They think, wait, isn't Japan incredibly safe? Isn't it one of the lowest crime countries on Earth?
That macro-level safety is absolutely real, and ironically, it creates a false sense of security that scammers exploit. Overall, Osaka is exceptionally safe. Violent street crime against tourists is virtually non-existent.
What do the safety ratings look like?
The neighborhood 8 out of 10, and the Umeda Business District at an 8.5 out of 10. You can walk around safely at 2:0 a.m., public transport is pristine, and taxis are strictly metered and honest.
However, and this is a massive however.
Right. The caveat is that while physical danger is incredibly low, the risk of financial scams targeting tourists' naivete in specific nightlife zones is very real. I should also note, based on the safety data, that tourists are advised to completely avoid the Erin or Kamagasaki district at night.
Okay, where is that?
That is a day labor area further south with a lack of tourist infrastructure and higher rates of illicit activity. But sticking to your entertainment zones around Dotonbori, the absolute red alert warning is the cabaret and hostess bar trap.
This is the scam that absolutely destroys travel budgets. How does it work?
The anatomy of the trap relies entirely on psychological compliance techniques. You are walking down a vibrant street near Dotonbori. A friendly street tout approaches you.
And they usually speak excellent English, right?
Yes, they don't seem threatening. They seem like a local trying to help you find a fun, cheap lounge. You agree to follow them into a basement bar. The staff inside are incredibly warm. But crucially, there is no English menu with clear prices presented up front.
You sit down, you have a few drinks, they place bowls of nuts on the table, you chat with the staff, and you have a great time.
Until the bill arrives.
A dreaded bill.
The bill drops, and it is 50,000 yen, sometimes 100,000 yen. Suddenly, the friendly illusion vanishes. You discover there was a massive, undisclosed table charge. Those little bowls of nuts they kept replacing, they were 2,000 yen each.
That is insane.
Your drinks were marked up 5 times the normal rate. The charges were technically printed in tiny Japanese text somewhere, deliberately kept vague. And when you try to dispute the total, intimidating bouncers suddenly materialize to block the exit.
It is sheer extortion. So what is the ironclad rule to avoid this?
Never, ever enter a bar or club because someone on the street specifically recruited you. If a place has to rely on aggressive street touts pulling people out of the foot traffic, it is a trap. Legitimate quality bars in Japan do not need to harass tourists on the sidewalk. Research your spots on Google Maps or Travelog and walk in entirely on your own terms.
Ignore the touts. Just keep walking. Now, beyond the high-stakes extortion, there are street-level annoyances that are lower risk but highly irritating.
Yeah.
One of them is so specific and notorious that he has actual lore on travel forums. He's known as Mark the Beggar.
Oh, Mark. This is a fascinating case of a well-documented repeat scammer operating frequently right in your neighborhood of Shinsaibashi.
What's his angle?
The profile is consistent. A Western man in his 30s or 40s. He approaches you and introduces himself, usually as Mark, playing the role of a distressed fellow traveler. His script is highly practiced. He claims he lost his wallet, he is locked out, and he desperately needs just 3,000 or 4,000 yen to catch a train back to his hotel in Kyoto.
And the hook is that he promises to repay you immediately. He will literally open his phone and ask for your PayPal email.
Exactly. He exploits traveler camaraderie. You empathize with the nightmare of losing your wallet in a foreign country. You give him the cash, and of course the PayPal transfer never arrives. He has been running this exact script in multiple Japanese cities for years.
So if a Westerner approaches you with a sob story about a lost wallet and a train ticket,
Just walk away.
Similarly, exploiting goodwill are the fake charities. You will be walking through the Shinsaibashi shopping arcade, and young people with clipboards will block your path.
I've seen them.
They display very emotional photos of suffering children or natural disaster areas, claiming to be raising international relief funds, and they will pressure you for a 1,000 to 5,000 yen cash donation.
The tale here is purely cultural. Legitimate Japanese charities and organizations do not aggressively solicit cash donations from individuals on the street in that manner. It is a fabricated front designed to part tourists from their yen. Keep your money.
Also in the realm of parting with your money foolishly, the counterfeit goods in Amerikamura.
Yes. In the back alleys of Amamura, small stalls will offer luxury bags, branded sneakers, and watches at wildly discounted prices. They look convincing enough to a casual buyer. But beyond the fact that you are wasting money on cheap quality, there are severe legal ramifications.
Right, because it's not just a bad purchase, it's a customs offense.
Precisely. When you return to your home country, customs officers at the border are trained to spot these knockoffs. They can and will confiscate the items, you lose your money, and you risk a substantial fine. It is simply not worth the risk.
Now let's talk about the physical crowds. Osaka gets packed. And where there are dense, distracted crowds, there are opportunists. The highest risk area for crowd crimes is the famous Ibisu Bridge in Dotonbori.
Right in front of the giant, glowing Glico Running Man sign.
Yes. At peak evening hours, there can be hundreds of tourists packed shoulder to shoulder on that small bridge, all trying to take the exact same selfie. Pickpocket teams actively work this specific crush of people, and they use a very clever distraction technique.
Yeah, they don't just bump into you like a traditional pickpocket.
No, they use your own politeness against you. Someone will tap your shoulder and politely ask you to hold their phone to take a photo of them with the sign. While your hands are occupied holding their device and your visual attention is entirely focused on framing the shot, their accomplice is standing directly behind you, unzipping your backpack or sliding a wallet out of your back pocket.
Wow. And the police actually caught a serial thief doing this who explicitly stated that foreign tourists are the easiest targets because they are so mesmerized by the neon.
So how do you prevent this?
The defense here is simple logistics. At the Glico Bridge, stand with your back firmly against the railing so no one can get behind you. Never put valuables in your back pockets. And wear a crossbody bag tight across your chest, not a backpack on your back.
That same rule applies when riding the Mito-Suji subway line during rush hour. Keep your bag on your front. Now, there is another subtle trick that happens not in the crowds, but right at the cash register, the coin short change.
This happens because foreign tourists are unfamiliar with the visual language of Japanese currency, specifically the 100 yen coin and the 10 yen coin. Japan is renowned for its honesty, but bad actors exist everywhere. The 100 yen coin is silver, and the 10 yen coin is copper. They don't look identical, but when you are rushed and a fast cashier is rapidly counting change into your palm, they can blend together.
Oh, I can see that happening.
A dishonest cashier will swap a few 100 yen coins for 10 yen coins. If they do that 3 times a transaction, they are quietly skimming off every tourist.
The way to avoid this is to stand at the register and count your change openly before walking away. In some Western cultures, slowly counting your change in front of the cashier feels rude or accusatory. But in Japan, it is entirely socially acceptable. count your yen.
Finally, on the safety front, we must mention the severe warnings from the U.S. State Department regarding nightlife districts. We discussed the cabaret overcharging, but there is a much darker physical edge to it.
Yes, the drink spiking.
The State Department specifically highlights the risk of spiked drinks in entertainment zones throughout Japan. While Tokyo areas like Roppongi are frequently named, the warning applies equally to the Dotonbori and Namba districts in Osaka.
It's terrifying.
Victims report having their drinks drugged and either waking up the next day to massive, fraudulent credit card charges or literally being physically escorted to an ATM by thugs while incapacitated and forced to withdraw their daily limit in cash.
It is a terrifying scenario, and it reinforces the absolute necessity of situational awareness. Do not follow touts, watch your drinks being poured, and never leave your glass unattended. The neon is dazzling, but you must keep your wits about you.
Exactly. The chaos is fun, but only if you are anchored by preparation.
So we have covered the incredible food, we have navigated the historical geography, and we have armored you against the scams. Let's put this all together.
Let's do it.
Let's construct a hypothetical, perfect, low-stress itinerary, a full day based entirely out of your hub at Hotel Code Shinsaibashi.
It starts in the morning. You wake up deeply rested on the Simmons mattress. The nano purifier has kept the air crisp despite the dense city outside. You make the strategic choice to skip the generic hotel breakfast.
Right, leave the hotel.
Instead, you walk 3 minutes north to Minami-Semba. You arrive at Onigiri Gorchan just as they open at 8 a.m. You hand them physical Yendo credit cards, and you walk out with a warm, perfectly crafted ume shirasu plum rice ball.
Mid-morning, the city starts to wake up. You wander west into Amerikamura. The vintage clothing shops are rolling up their shutters. You navigate the alleys, easily dodging the stalls, pushing fake luxury watches because you know better.
Yeah.
You step up to the window at Koguryu, grab a boat of world-class bonito-dusted takoyaki for under 1,000 yen, and you sit on the concrete steps of Triangle Park, just absorbing the incredible Osaka street fashion.
As the afternoon heat hits, you want to save a little money and sit down indoors to rest your legs.
Yeah.
You head to Kokoichi. You build your perfect custom curry plate, a crispy pork cutlet with a medium spice level. It is fast, efficient, and deeply satisfying.
And that?
You spend the rest of the afternoon walking the massive, covered Shinsaibashi Tsuji shopping arcade.
Got it.
Because it's a covered Shotengai, you are entirely immune to the weather outside, whether it is raining or sweltering.
And because you saved your budget at lunch, it is time for the evening splurge. You walk south toward Namba, stepping off the bright, chaotic, modern streets and into the narrow, stone-paved, lantern-lit alleyway of Hozenji Yokocho.
Oh, it's so atmospheric.
The atmosphere completely shifts. It feels like Edo period Japan. You walk into Matsusaka-gyu Yakiniku M and treat yourself to the ultimate Wagyu beef experience, grilling pieces of highly marbled A5 art right at your table.
After dinner, the Dotonbori Neon is operating at maximum capacity. You walk past the Glico sign, keeping your hand firmly secured on your crossbody bag, immune to the pickpockets. A tout in a sharp suit tries to wave you into a basement hostess bar with promises of cheap drinks.
You ignore him.
You confidently ignore him and keep walking. You want a nightcap, so you head to Magic Bar 11 for a cocktail. Or if you want a quieter, more grounded vibe, you head back toward your neighborhood and stop at the night cafe at Morning Box. They are open until 10:30 p.m., pouring local Kansai craft beer.
You finish your beer, step back out into the cool night air, and take the short, very safe walk right back to the lobby of Hotel Code. You haven't been overcharged, you haven't eaten a single bad meal, and you have navigated the sensory overload of the city like a local.
When you look at the entirety of this deep dive, it reveals a fascinating truth about traveling in a place like Osaka.
What's that?
The true magic of this city is the friction between the rigid structural order of Japan, the subway trains running to the exact second, the meticulous cleanliness of the streets, the precision of the architecture, and the chaotic, neon-drenched, aggressively food-obsessed energy of places like Dotonbori.
It's quite the contrast.
It is. The chaos is what makes the city fun. But you can only truly enjoy that chaos if you understand the underlying order. By knowing the rules of the neighborhood, how to pay, where to walk, what the otoshi is, and knowing exactly how the scammers try to break those rules, you completely free yourself from anxiety.
You stop staring at the map like it's a terrifying circuit board, and you just let the power flow. You know where to go, you know what to eat, and you know what to avoid. So, to the listener, we wish you a phenomenal, low-stress stay at Hotel Code Shinsaibashi. Count your yen coins openly, eat the takoyaki in the park, ignore the touts, and dive deep into the beautiful, delicious chaos of Osaka.